wound it. I just used, the electrical, so it would have been, what size would it have been? Probably about, the wire on it would have been about 6 mil. And I stripped the plastic off of it, and then I wound this thing roughly on this antenna on this fishing pole, and I usually put that on the thing, and it went much better. The walkie-talkie went much better, and I had it on the roof, and I had a strap to the roof, so that was the earth part. And anyway, much later on, just out of something, I was mucking around with all sorts of antennas, whips and things, and I got this thing out because I still had it, and put it on. And would you believe it even was it must have just been sheer fluke. It was quite a reasonable SWR on 27 megs on one of the legal channels, which quite fascinated me over.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I remember when we first started dabbling, we didn't really know that much, and we just thought in those days the bigger the antenna, the better the signal that would get out. But that wasn't really the case, Ava.
No, but it still surprised you what would work. And I definitely was under that theory. I tried all sorts of things to make the antenna get more range. But when that guy broke in there, and he was in, I'm pretty sure he was in New South Wales. I can still remember the talking to him, but I can't remember that many details about the contact because it would just it blew me away. That was when I thought I better start doing some reading here, and then started to learn a little bit about it, and then the whole lot opened up, and you realised you didn't have a clue what you were doing over.
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate because I remember there was a place when I was at trade school there was a place there in the city, and what I did is I actually went and bought some crystals, and when I went back into class after lunch break, one of the teachers came in, and I had the crystals on the desk, and this teacher said, "Oh, what do you got there?" And I said, "Oh, there's some crystals." And he says, "You play with CBs, do you?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he was actually an amateur radio operator, and what he explained to me and what he taught me was just absolutely fantastic, and that's what it really all took off over.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I didn't have as good experience. I in my early teens, middle teens, I tried to join the Wireless Institute, but they didn't want to know CBs, and we were really, really frowned upon. They didn't like me at all. So there's a lot of those guys, didn't want anything to do with us. So I just sort of went to a couple of meetings and really felt, like I was the pimple on someone's face, and so I got out of it and didn't really go back for years and years and years until years afterwards. But my experience wasn't good, which is a pity because I have since, of course, found people in different areas who've been really, really, really good. And I must admit, one of the first guys who really made me feel welcome was a guy, his name was Joe, VK7JG. He's a Solent Key now, fantastic fella. And a lot of people here in Tassie would know him. And he was the first guy that really made me feel welcomed and not just because I was a CBer. It's, he said to me, "No, it's all radio." And it really stuck in my mind, that here was this guy who was obviously pretty prominent in the radio scene, and he was yaffling to me, and I'll never forget that there, and was always grateful for him doing that there. Over.
Yeah, Roger, Dick. As far as today goes, if it wasn't for the CBs in the old days there, I don't think there'd be as many amateurs on the band these days. But just as a matter of interest, someone's just contacted me on VHF, and I've just told him to come up on 7145. So his call sign's VK3AJK. Do you want to give him a call, Vic, see if you can hear it?
Yeah, okay. VK3AJK, was it?
Aphid.
I wonder if you're listening on this frequency. VK7DIK with VK3PDC, over.
VK7DIK, good afternoon there. Good afternoon there, Paul. VK3PDC. Alan is the name, Alpha Lima, Alpha November, and the VK3AJK is the call sign. We have actually spoken before Kevin. We have spoken before them, but glad to hear you again. Conditions are very, very wet over here, so I really don't know how the propagation is going from us over there. So I'll hand it back to Paul and he can continue. VK2PDC, VK3AJK and the group.
VK3AJK and group. Yeah, Alan, I can hear you quite well here. And how's Dick coming with you, over?
Oh, Roger. He's coming through probably about a 5 and 7, 5 or 7 to 5 by 9. So the signals are pretty good. Just a lot of background noise over there. And so it could very well be the rain because we've got tons of it pouring down here at the moment over there. Anyway, back to you guys.
Yeah, VK7DIK, VK3PDC. Yeah, that's yeah. So it seems you're getting okay there, Dick, over.
Yeah, well, certainly I've got no problems at all. Picking up. Now it was Jack, wasn't it? Is that right? Is it? No, Alan. I'm just looking at my logbook here. It's very interesting, actually. I've got Jack up. So, Alan, how long have you had this call sign? Because I've worked someone with that call sign before. I'm assuming that well, in the last last 30 years, I have worked a Jack on there, and it says that he was. I'm looking at my notes, and it says that he was mobile in VK2 using a Lenco DX70. So. I wonder if that was you, Alan. I don't think it was, over.
VK7DIK, VK3AJK returning. No, negative, it wasn't me. I've actually had this call phone about, I've had this about October of last year. So not that new. Well, fairly new, I guess, in the scheme of things. But you may have spoken to me under my other call sign, which was VK3. Victor Zulu Sierra, VK3 Victor Zulu Sierra. And then we changed over to the call sign over here when I had the opportunity to change it over. I definitely haven't spoken to you before there. You were in Tasmania, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm trying to see, yep, you're not on that call log. Let me check my other call list over here. Amazing, they've changed QRZ and I can't even check my logbook correctly there. Anyway, back to you there, VK7DIK, VK3AJK.
Yeah, very good, Alan. No worries at all. Yeah, I think we have worked before for sure. I'll check after. But you're a very good signal over here. No worries at all. What are you actually operating there, mate? Over?
Roger, they're running a 300 units into a Ultra Beam. Ultra Beam pushing out about, at the moment, about 60 to 70 watts, 60 to 70 watts. So nothing spectacular. But it is definitely getting out, and that's the main concern of it. Anyway, guys, I'm just going to sort of stand by the side over here and listen in and carry on doing a little bit of paperwork, but I am here, so enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, very good. No problems at all. Well, it's working very well. I just looked on QRZ, and I've got a good logbook program here written by VK2GJC, and you can just click on things and look at the thing. I can see the Ultra Beam there. That'd be a good little unit. That certainly fantastic thing. I'm not sure what model that thing is. I'm not really up with the models of those things, but I know. Anyway, it certainly seems to work very well. All those stuff. I guess that's just a dipole there. It acts as a dipole on that band, some a folded dipole or something. Thanks for coming up, Alan. And we'll put it back over. And oh God, what have I done here? Let's just have a look here. Oh, that wasn't very clever. Yeah, so that should be pretty good. So we'll go back over to Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, Rod Dick, VK, 7BIK, VK, 333. Yeah, Dick, look, I haven't got much more to say, but I actually want to talk to our VHF because I haven't spoken to him for a while. So do you mind if I just say 7-3 and just get on VHF over?
No, mate, no, go for your life. I'm going to go to 80 metres anyways and get on the sewing circle. I've been on there for a while, so yeah, that's what I'll do. And I'll talk to you later on. Cheers there, gentlemen. Thanks for the contact. We'll work you again.
You're going to Dick. Thanks also for the contact. Okay, please. It's clear. Cheers.
Clear, mate.
Dick, just one thing over there. Yes, I did speak to you on 80 metres before. It was 80 metres. And it was in about August of last year.
Okay, with the VZS call sign, yeah?
Yes, Roger, correct.
Yeah, mate, yep, okay, no worries. All right, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, that's good. And look forward to catching you again, Alan. 73, mate.
Thank you. 73 is all right.
Bye.
3 HK2.
Degrees here and the shower of rain has gone through. Okay, I'm going to keep 40 meters running too, Peter, but you call me, I've got more running at this stage. I'll put it over to Ian in the meantime. VK5ZGG, VK3FKD going clear of the group temporarily.
Yeah, good, Ken. Yeah, cheers to you. Say hello to Karina for me. And all is well. It was still a good, strong signal. 9, 5 and 9. So that was all very good. And now Peter will go, of course, he wants to talk, so you're going to try and talk on Bull. So I'll put it back to Peter for a final, then I'll go back to Mel. VK3YG, VK5ZGG, any good? No, it looks like Peter's already gone to Bull. Okay, I'll put 73 after him now. 73, 440, 440. Okay, back to Mel, the only one left. VK3CWM, VK5ZGG, Mel. Yeah, Mel, VK3CWM, VK5ZGG. No, dead silence. VK5ZGG.
For the report tonight. VK2 Delta Sierra, ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. Bye-bye, Dennis. Take care. Anybody else? ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. Standing by.
Echo Alpha 7, Golf Alpha Kilo.
How you doing, Xavier? You still on the band, Xavier? Oh my God. That big monster antenna, Xavier. Echo Alpha 7, Golf Alpha Kilo, my good friend. ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray.
Okay, Darren. Kilo Lima 2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. I just will start my breakfast and some coffee. But I was checking the 40 meters and I hear you, so I want to let you know that you're still good signal here, 5 and 9. I hear a few people, few guys with lower signal from BK, but you are the strongest. You are 5 and 9, still 5 and 9, very, very strong with audio always. So yes, I think the conditions are not in the best performance, but it's not bad. So, microphone back to you, and I repeat, you are 5 or 9, 59, Darren. Zulu Lima 2, Sugar Delta X-Ray, 7, Golf Alpha Kilo, over.
Yeah, beautiful copy, Xavier. Thank you for the 5 and 9. You're also 5'9", 59 here, sounding wonderful. Absolutely great sound you have. The 950 SDX is fantastic. And 5'9" in the clean. Hope you enjoyed your breakfast. It's coming up to 14 minutes past 7 here. Papa Mike. I won't be long for dinner time here, Xavier. Also, I'm going to send Carlos a WhatsApp message a little bit later. I will send him WhatsApp message to say I spoke to you, Xavier. Always a pleasure to hear you. I can't believe I'm still hearing you so strong. 5'9", 59 in the clean, man. So what's the time over there, Xavier? QSL?
Yes, Darren, here is 15 minutes past 9 o'clock in the morning, and I must say the sun is very bright and blue, beautiful sky. But yes, I hear. I remember some like a week ago, I was making some contact, and the last station I made was Zululima station, Allen. I don't remember. I think it's Zululima Sugar Hotel. I don't remember very well. And it was 11 o'clock in the morning. 11 o'clock in the morning here in Spain. I could not believe. Thank you. Well, I don't keep your time, and I'd like you to continue me a few more calls before you go dinner. So thank you very much for the contact, and I will send a text also to our friend, and I will send him regards from your side. So thank you very much. 73. Zululima 2 Sugar Delta X-ray from EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo. Over.
Yeah, copy, Xavier. Echo Alpha 7 Golf Alpha Kilo from ZL2 Sugar Delta X-ray. Just a beautiful transmission, Xavier. 5'9" in the clean. Hasta la vista, my friend. And I will be around a bit later. If not, try tomorrow, okay? Look for me tomorrow, Xavier, and I look for you, okay? We may maybe have to catch up tomorrow as well, if conditions are good. All the best. Thank you so much, and good morning, brother. Over.
Thank you. Good evening, good morning from Spain, and I will look for you tomorrow. Why not? 73, and good luck. Thank you, Darren.
Okay, buddy. All the best. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Anybody else before we go for dinner? ZL2 Sugar Delta X-ray.
Victor Kilo 2 Papa Radio Charlie, pedestrian portable, over.
Yeah, VK3, is it Papa Radio Charlie, pedestrian portable, was it?
Roger, yes, Alex here, Victor Kilo 2 Papa Radio Charlie, pedestrian portable, set up in the park here using my British Army Clansman radio, over.
Yeah, well, it's sounding great here. I think the name was Alex, name's Darren, about 45k, northeast of Wellington. I'll give you a report next round there, buddy, over.
Yeah, thank you very much for the contact. I heard you talking to the chap in Spain. He was so clear to me as well, over.
Yeah, it's a good friend of mine, Xavier, and also a friend of a few friends over in Spain, Carlos and Angel. He's got a beautiful setup, Xavier. He's just put a four element monobander up, so he's a fantastic signal, and quite surprised that he's still hearing me. It's about 18 minutes past 9 over there in the morning, and probably one of the only stations coming out of Europe still, Alex. You're 5'9", 59, over.
Yeah, thank you very much for the 59. I seem to be doing very, very well getting out this afternoon. I'm hearing stations very well today as well, so the band mustn't be too bad, over.
It's not too bad at all. Not too bad. Just give us another over, Alex. Give us another over.
Okay, it's Victor Kilo 2 Papa Radio Charlie here, operating in my local park here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, about 60 kilometres southwest of Sydney, over.
Okay, yeah, you're 5'9", but I'm not sure that you've got any RF. I'm not sure there's RF on the audio or it's clipping. I'm not sure if you're using a linear or anything like that. This is how you're sounding.
2 Papa Radio Charlie here, operating in my local park here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, about 60 kilometres southwest of Sydney, over.
So there we are. That's the playback, Alex.
Yeah, it's me. That's typical me. I run a little amp here, a little 70-watt amp, and it probably clips just a little bit. So yeah, that's the way it is. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You know. It's the military sound to the military radio too. Over.
Yeah, well, it's not so much the military sound. The Klansmen are pretty clean now. I think it's just the linear. I think the linear's just clipping or a bit dirty, that's all. It's starting to spit. Apart from that, it's a nice little setup, buddy, haven't it?
Yeah, listen, can you give me 20 seconds and I'll just cut the amp out and I'll just run direct out of the radio, over.
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. Who is the other station? Who's the station? Who's running the other military radio sign? Yeah, VK3ZZ, you're not as strong as your other friend, but I can hear you, buddy. Yeah, VK3ZZ, what's your name? What's your name, buddy? My name is Darren. QSL? Yeah, okay, Ross. Well, you're 5 and 7, 57 here, sounding good here. There's a playback.
20 watts, using a Rakel at this end, back to the radio there. Anyway, I'll let...
So there you are. You take care, Ross. All the best, of it.
20 watts.
Hey, take care, buddy. Anybody else? ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. Yeah, I think I got you back. I think your name there, didn't I? Alex. Yeah, give us another over, Alex, and I'll record it.
Victor Kilo 2 Papa Radio Charlie, pedestrian.
It's clean now. It's clean, although the signal's in there. The signal's 57 now. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was the amp causing a bit of distortion. This is a playback, but you're not as strong. You're not as strong.
Kilo 2 Papa Radio Charlie, pedestrian portable ear operating just south of Sydney, over.
So there you are. It's working well now, Alex, over.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, look, I'm putting out about 31 watts now. So we've dropped down from 70 to 31, over.
Yeah, it makes a difference. You're about 2 S points. Maybe 2 S points on the signal. So it's worth using. It's worth sticking it on. It's worth sticking the amp on. I was only saying over.
No, that's good. It's good to know, Darren. It's always good to know the feedback, mate. If people don't tell you, then you don't know. So what I'll do, I'll probably turn it down a bit. I've got a little RF attenuator in the circuit, and I'll probably need to make that a little larger so that I restrict my drive a little bit, over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just turn the drive down a bit, and it'll be as good as gold. Because the extra 2 S points, extra 2 S points, is nothing to sniff at. And most people wouldn't even mention the spitting. So good on you. Nice work anyway, Alex. Take care, buddy, over.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ross. To tell you the truth, I never got your call sign, over.
There's ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. Zulu Lima 2 Sierra Delta X-Ray. Name's Darren, over.
Yeah, ZL2 Sierra Delta X-Ray. Darren, thank you very much for the copy, mate. It's been a pleasure. Video couldn't have spoken to your friend in Spain, but there you go.
Don't mind, yeah. There'll be another time. That Klansman's sounding real good. Take care, buddy.
Yes, thank you, Darren. 73, mate. Bye-bye.
Anybody else before we go for dinner? ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. Yeah, it's Echo Alpha Tango. Is that you, Daryl?
Very good evening, my dear friend.
The VK3, stand by. Stand by the VK3. Go ahead, Daryl. Yeah, the VK3 station, stand by. Stand by, okay? I can hear you. Go ahead, Daryl.
Good evening, mate. How are you? Well, good, mate. So this is the Timtech now. It sounded absolutely disastrous, didn't it, on that first attempt? So we're still tweaking, Darren. Anyway, just wanted to know if I send that vertical signal across the pond, Darren.
Nice to hear you. Yeah, nice to hear you, Daryl. So you're still playing, are you? Yeah, you're still playing. Well, thank you for the report. I didn't look at the meter. I'll give a report next round, Daryl, Other.
Yeah, very good, mate. Yeah, I did have a preamp as well. I've got to put them out on the floor and just hope it out, mate. So it's getting there. It's not as good as the 950. I don't know, we'll muck around with different microphones. This is the MXL 770. And yeah, it's fun, mate. And some of those specifications the preamp has helped, and I'm still getting used to that. But yeah, hell of a nice signal tonight, mate. Very nice.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm on the Apache Alan tonight. You're 5'7", 57 ADL. This is how you're sounding.
Pad things out a little bit, mate. But it's getting there. Not as good as the 950, I wouldn't say. But
it's not as good as the 950 sound, but I understand it's a work in progress. I'm not sure if you're fully aware of the radio now. Hopefully you're fully aware of all the menus and everything, and you know how to drive all the radio inside, EQs, everything else. If you do, and you're very familiar with the radio, when we got some good conditions, I'll tweak you and dial you in for sure, okay?
Yeah, that sounds good, mate. And yeah, I did include I think the 2496 Ultra Curve as well. The other details, my RT preamp. Yeah, it's good there. I do that actually my radio choice. But yeah, this has been fun just to get to know it. Thanks for the feedback there. It was good to hear it back with the cams on. We'll do that, my friend. Nice signal. Take care of yourself. Get our best for Archie. And we'll talk one night, mate, and play some radio and see what we can do. So ZL2 SDX is 2EAC off and clear. Have a good evening, mate.
Yeah, no worries, Daryl. Well, if you're familiar, if you know how to drive that radio and drive the 2496, one night I'll set you up and that'll be the best Timtech on the air. I'll tell you that now. Because I've played with one. I used to own one back in England for a while. My friend had one, and it was $1 million. It was as close to my 950 SDX at 4KC. Really was singing. So I know it's capable. Just needs setting up. So one of these nights when you're 10 dB plus, and I'm free and you're free, I'll set that up, no problem at all, okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll see about here. It's on the deck now, hell of a lot better than what it was, and still getting used to the gear, but it's fun, mate. I'm having a good time doing it. So thanks for the advice there, mate, to keep contending, keep pressing on. Okay, I'll let you get to the VK3, Darren, and thanks for the detail there. Appreciate it very much. ZL2 SDX, VK2 EAT. Have a good evening, Darren.
Yeah, no worries, Daryl. VK2 EAT ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. Well, if you're around later, and the band's open, I'm willing to, I'll play. If you're around later, and it's not too late, and the conditions are good, we'll have a play, and we'll get the foundation laid down on that Timtech with the 2496. Take care, buddy. All the best.
All right, mate. I'll do that, and if I am around, I'll give you a shout. I'll look for you on the band anyway. I know where to find you. Cheers, mate.
Good as well. Take care, buddy. Right, the VK3, Bravo, November Juliet. Are you still there? Yeah, nice work, Stan. Thank you for standing by. You're 5 and 9. 59 here, Stan. The 450D's are doing a great job. Here's a playback for you. So there you are. There's a quick clipping. The name's Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N, 45K, northeast of Wellington. You're 5'9", Stan. QSL.
Thank you very much for that. You're 20 over 9 here. Thank you for that. Darren, I thought it was Darren, but it's Darren.
Yeah, I've got your name, Stan, 5'9" in the clean, and thank you for the 20 dB over S9. I'm running here in Apache Anon, about a kilowatt. So that's the situation. Local time is 7:30. I'm just waiting for the call for dinner, so just waiting for the call, Stan. Nice to hear you on the band, mate, Over.
Yes, thank you for coming to the call there. And I hope you get a few more stations before you take the TV there. I'll say 7:30.
Nice copy, Stan. Well, thank you for the call. You enjoy your evening, you and your family, and look forward to working you again, Stan. Take care, buddy. Thank you. All the best, Stan. Thank you. This is ZL2SDX. Just going to go and check the oven. I'll be back in a while.
Everywhere else it's raining, but not in Rockhampton, and they have declared some drought. And another little town, 25, Mount Morgan, is about 25 or a bit more, maybe 30 kilometers away from here. They have to cost them $70,000 every I don't know, every day or every week. Now what would be every week, I think, transporting water. Their dam is dried out, and in Rockhampton we don't have the problem. We've got a huge, 300, 400 kilometer area where the Fitzroy River comes from out west, and so that river is still there, and so we won't have that problem here. Never have many problems with water. It's just the outlying areas, or the other areas down south, up north, of course, and also at the coast near Perth. They only get their water from the hills around there, from National Park, and they are running low as well. Okay, well that's but today still was nice, you know, a bit of overcast, not overcast, a bit of a few clouds, a little bit of wind, so can't complain. VK, up to you, Mike. Try if you can hear me and if I can hear you. VK4, MIK, VK4, ABJ.
From Victor Kilowatt to Delta, Whiskey Papa, VK2DW, please call, CQ, CQ80 leaving.
That's obviously off-road you were going there with. So yeah, I'll tell you what, you wouldn't do that down here. You better set the thing on whatever you do and just keep it short burst. Otherwise they're pretty savage down here recently. Okay, and to answer your question, Glenn, no, Curtis Island and Fraser Island, they're all yuppie Brisbaneite sort of islands. That's where the Brisbaneites go to have a weekend away. Al?
73, Frank. Catch you on 80 tonight. VK5 MRE, good night.
VK5 MRE, Ron running the Candos group, VK3 VEF. You're still 5.9 plus coming in into VK3 very nicely. I was going to say g'day to somebody. Ori, VK3 NRG. G'day Ori from VK3 VEF. And don't forget anybody that's got nothing to do tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time on 3.610. You got Mr. Ed and friends. We have a bit of a chat on 80 metres, so I'm sure everybody that's on this group would be welcome. And thanks for running it, Ron. I'll talk to you later on in the evening. And Ron, VK3AHR, if you're still there, Ron, the third session we've had you tonight. If you're still there, that is 73, VK5 MRE, VK3 VF. Cheers. And night, Noel.
He's showing off now, isn't he? That's good. You guys can talk to one another. In the bar.
Computer switching. I normally can change it remotely, but at the moment I can't, so it goes into no man's land. But normally I can use my radio at home from here, from the computer, and it works quite well, obviously. But at the moment I can't change the antenna, so I'm stuck. VK2MZ, VK2HM.
Okay, Doug. Just turn your amplifier off. Horse, turn your amplifier off, over.
Okay, catch you tomorrow or another day. But I didn't have your phone number until you sent me that SMS, so I would have sent you a message the other day. But if you don't have the phone number, it's very hard getting a mobile number, Rob. VK2MZ, VK2HM.
Certainly is. Thanks, Horsto. All the best. I think someone might be on the frequency, so we'll see you later. 73s. Thanks for the contact, VK2HL, VK2 Mike Zulu.
Cheers. All the best, VK2HL, full clear.
Yeah, so VK2 Mike Zulu, clear for the frequency.
Thinking about I'll listen to the end, but I'll get going. Anyway, I was able to see how it all goes tomorrow and enjoy the evening. My kids is all on 80 tonight, so those who have to WK 4 ABJ, 4K to the end of 7.3s, have a nice one and enjoy the day. Great day, rather. Yeah, fine, Carrie, VK here, 4KDB, VK 4 ABJ. Yep, I've got to get into the garden as well, locking up the birds. And the chicken rather, and they're not lying actually at the moment, so I'm not quite sure what the problem is though, but they just simply stopped, and they're not really, only one of them is feathering, but it's in a different cage, and these others, I think they're just gone lazy or something, so we'll just have to wait for a few days, a few weeks before they start up again. Okay, well, good signals all the way around, and that's good. Yeah, with the antenna, Kerry, is just first, of course, if you've got two good antennas, and that's when they go into the decibels, you know, on both ends. And then, of course, you have got polarization, direction of radiation. Also, the polarization not so much because I get twisted a bit when it goes by the ionosphere. But definitely the best radiation in different areas, and the angle of the radiation, you know, the elevation of it as you hit the ionosphere, if it's a flat angle or a steeper angle, that all makes a big difference over this distance. So, and then of course the distance, the MUF distance, whatever, which we have around this time, we get that. It gets really strong just before the skip. Just before it just stops reflecting because the angle is too steep, you usually get an extra 5 or 10 decibels, and doesn't matter if it's on or on this one. It's just that's the way it works. Okay, guys, have a good evening, and we'll see you next time. VK 4 ABJ clear. Cheers all. Hello.
The check, isn't it? VK4PA, and I better go and have a quick word to Glenn. So I'll make this my final, and I'll just go with Glenn in a second or two. We might QSY. I see 132 is clear here at my end, or thereabouts. 132. That's to get us a bit above the 125. So if you'd like to do that, Glenn, let me know, and I'll chop off there. And I'll put it over to Dave, and you can work it out amongst yourselves. So good to talk to you fellas this afternoon, and you two, Mick and David and Russell and Robert, and blah, 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 Ray. Okay, I better go, and we'll slip down and have a quick word to Glenn. He did call and did say he wanted to talk. Everything has been going all right. I had a faulty relay again in the iBox, but I fixed that. You should have the other. I just sent you another email too, Dave, with the audio file so you can hear yourself. You sound all right, so I'm fucking fine. Anyway, I'll just confer with Glenn. Do you want to go to 132? Is that all right, Glenn?
Yeah, it'll be just for a short time. You can come back. Because I've got to go and have a shower. We're just sort of going out here this afternoon. 132. And good evening to everyone here on the group here. With VK4. The most covering VK4 there, and 73. VK2FQSL, QSY, 7132.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I know. It was a bit long there, Glenn, so I thought I'd better do that quickly. Okay, I'm going to QSY to 132, fellas.
VK2FQSL.
VK2FQSL, VK4PA.
Yeah, VK4PA, VK2FQSL. When you were saying about Apex, is that like Aero Exciter, is it?
Apex, APHEX. I'm not an audio fanatic, but I believe look it up online. It's a processor that adds more oomph and it adds liveliness. There's two sorts. There's a bass and a treble, I guess, in the simplest way. And the bass side gives you the big rounded bumpy bass, and you play with that. And this device, with the new update of the software, you can play with the harmonics and so forth and make it sound whatever you like to sound like on the bass side. And the same with the high end too. It adds more sparkle to the high end. Now, bear in mind, this is not an amateur thing. It's just an audio thing. It's actually made for live YouTube casting, hence the name Rodecaster. But I think I like it anyway. It's simple. It's only just got sliders on it, and you preset up each input. Each input has got an individual setting for your Apex. It doesn't have an EQ on it as such. The Apex is the EQ. If you want to do any EQ, you've got to do it externally, which I do. But it's got... Anyway, look, I'm not going to be an advertisement for it, but you can go on there. There's plenty of videos on YouTube there. You can play it up. So if you've got any other specific questions, and sorry it took so long to get back to you there, Glenn, but you know what it's like. VK2FQSL, VK4PA.
VK4PA, VK2FQSL. Yeah, there's just curiosity, out of curiosity. Me and a friend of mine, we talk on another band, and we talk about audio processors and stuff like that, and just curious about them. And yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, it's a bass processor and a high frequency processor in the Aero Exciter range of what Apex do. I think all Apex equipment channel scripts are all made on that same principle. Aero Exciter type things in their channel scripts. So that sort of makes more sense. Not that I go out and buy one. I've got enough of the gear here as it is. So we just talk about it, you know, and it's just curious, and it's just the point of a conversation. That's all. Yeah, and like you said, you would need an EQ. Well, most radios these days have got EQs in them anyway. So the Acers have probably got more of a precise EQ than the Icom I'm using, but yeah, I guess you can get it working. With a radio that doesn't have an EQ and all the stuff would probably be a bit of a struggle, but I guess you'd have to put a lot more high frequency emphasis on it to get it to work in a radio that hasn't got an EQ. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, a lot of the guys over the years, what I've been reading up of, is these radio station type processors that's been used in radio stations, and some of them are AM channel scripts, you might call it, and only got about 6K bandwidth. That they won't go any higher or that, and they're ready 6K, and they've been ideal for ham radio. Even though they're not made for ham radio, they're made for a radio station, AM, but it's a lot easier to tailor to the ham radio. But yeah, all my gear is all musical equipment. It's 20 to 20,000, but it's got an EQ where the parametric EQs where you can cut the frequencies, I guess, to how you want it. And you normally have a lot of bleed over too. So if I had to set it at 3K, I've got a 2800 hertz, and it still gets up 3K. You know, it's sort of a lot of bleed over, so it's not as tight as some EQs. These are cheaper versions that I've been using. Yeah, you got no ALC. That's quite common. That's quite common with a lot of people I talk to with audio processing and studio type microphones. You don't need the ALC. You don't need a lot of it. When you turn the mic down, it sounds horrible. Too full and processed. No fidelity in it. So the maximum amount of ALC most people run is at a quarter ALC. I'm running a little bit more, possibly on half, because, the power I was running. But, it seems to work anyway. All right there, Tony, mate. Good to have that short chat, and that's all. It's an aerial exciter and high and low frequency, and I guess it's a good unit for whatever you use it for. VK4, PA, VK2FQSL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I think there's a little bit more to it than that. But, yeah, I'll just change microphone. So there we go. This is a different microphone. That's one of the things you can do with it. It's got 4 inputs. So I can just throw the slider and off you go, or push the mute button and off you go. I'm actually on an SM7 at the moment. So you can do all that fancy stuff. And you're right, you hit the nail on the head. I'm not all that au fait with all the processing terms, but you're right. Oral exciter and fixed mode. Two APEX terms, I believe. And this has got both of them. And with the update, before it was 6, but now you can play with as well as a whole host of frequency response, gain, input levels, that sort of stuff. For both of the APEX settings, I'll just turn it off. It's probably because we're only limited to 3K, well, approximately 3K bandwidth, maximum 4 if you want to get shouted at. Having a 20 to 20 doesn't actually help. Matter of fact, it probably makes it worse. But I limit the audio here from 100 to, I knock it off at about 4K externally. But yeah, I just turned this off. There we go. That's I just turned the APEX off. Like I said, each microphone's got different APEX settings, and this is on the SM7. I've forgotten what I had it sounding like, but I thought it wasn't too bad. On, and that's the APEX back on. Touch screen. But yeah, but having all that fancy gear doesn't really apply to amateur transmission levels due to our limited bandwidth. But it's still fun to play. You can try to make as best as you can with what you got. I do play AM. I run 4K on AM, and I've got a couple of profiles for that. So I don't use the EQs in any of the radios. I've got probably about 20 major transmitters, but I don't have any EQ settings on any of them because it gets a bit too hard to remember, and they're all set to flat. I do everything with the profile in the software here, so if I want to talk on at the moment, I'm on the FT DX101D. I've got a profile for that, which I've set to pink noise, flat, and I've set all the radios to flat frequency responses, best as they can do, some more narrow than others, and the mic settings in the broadcast are all the same. Doesn't matter what transmitter I use, and hopefully the software EQ setup always takes care of the radio. And sometimes you can't even tell if I'm on an FT101 from 1973 or the FT101 from 2003. Anyway, who's this? Someone's ringing me. I better just check. Who's this? That's my neighbour. I think you want to go there, so I'll just check. I won't talk too much longer, but we will talk again. I like talking audio. VK2FQSL, VK4PA.
Yeah, no problems, Tony. Yeah, I'll go because I've got to have a shower and get going. We'll catch up later on. 73, VK2FQSLP.
Okay. Did you agree or disagree?
Yeah, well, what if with the audio processing with the 2020?
2020. I think we need to talk again. I know you'll be around, so give us a shout. I like to talk audio, so even though I know nothing about it, it's my learning curve. All right, go and have a shout, mate.
Yeah, you're right. You need two equalisers. When you've got the 2020, you need two of them. You need at least two of them, and to cut it, to get it cut properly with barrel exciders. But the SM7 sounds pretty good. It's a little bit less bass than the other ribbon microphone. A little bit less bass. I kind of like it. Doesn't sound too bad. But you can make anything sound the same when you've got the equalisers. So the other one's a bit darker. Down the ribbon mics are a bit darker sound, a bit more bottom end, I think. But I don't know whether that's a good thing. Yeah. I like a little bit of all around, but yeah, they both sound good. It's just a different way. 73, Tony, VK, 2FQ is up there.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Well, I wasn't aware of that, so I thought I had them just about the same. But I'll have a listen on the headphones, and I better go. But yep, okay. Comments noted. 7-3.
CQ testing a 2020 radio, you got it? I think somebody came back to me, but you're way down in the scratchy there, over.
Look, I've got to jump off, unfortunately very quickly, so catch up again, and the steroid course there to go up. So, right, 7-3, Mark, I'll be there and close all these things up. VK 58, DWP.
No, keep down. Awful, mate, we'll catch you soon. VK2 DWP clearing, VK2 Papa Hotel. 7-3, please.
ALH, the group VK7DIK.
VK7DIK, thanks. 6VK7ALH. Gavin Nasser has got all that stuff nutted out with hydrogen, but obviously it must be painted and they're sitting on it. They have a storage facility of, 240,000 litres of liquid hydrogen in storage in one area. It works out at 71 kilograms per square metre. Of gas that's been compressed, so they've got a lot under storage and they know how to liquefy it. It was liquefied in the 1898, I think, was the first time they liquefied hydrogen. So there you go. But I'm reading all about recovering the nasties that happen in the system. But anyway, if you're driving down the road, what are you doing? You're throwing the fertiliser out on the bitumen, which will run into the drains on the side. Oh dear, be too much. All right, enough of that. Okay, thanks, Dick. VK7VDX, VK7ALH, over.
Good on you, Roscoe. Well, the Kitchery store's been done towards the grass on the side of the road, mate. You'd be right. You can do two jobs at once. And so there we are. Good thing. I reckon we'll give it away tonight, mate. Cold enough here, that's for sure. So, we can't chop wood at the moment, which is bloody back, and I believe you me, it is cold. I don't know what it is inside. Hang on, I'll have a little look. 17 degrees. That's cool, but not freezing cold. So there we are. It's raining, so that goes in the opposition to what it normally was going to do. Was going to be clear. Anyway, we'll take it as it comes. Okay. Evening, Alex. Good evening, mate. Have a good evening. And Charlie Lehman, you have a good evening too, mate. And hope there's something nice on the table for you when you arrive, regardless of what you did or didn't do. So there we go. And discretion's always the better part of valor when it comes to the good ladies, mate. You're free off alarm, mate. Have a good evening, mate. And, yeah, as soon as I mentioned because I wanted Jeffrey turned off that alarm so you don't get spotted in the middle of the night. So the rest of the guys are gone, haven't they? Yes, it's good to see you, mate. Nice to see you in there. You'll be down amongst the warm stuff tomorrow, down underground, so that'll be nice and warm. And Roscoe, have a good evening too, mate. And you'll eventually get on top of that particular radio, mate. You'll beat it. There's nothing truer than that. So in the meantime, guys, be good, be kind, be careful. Have a good evening. And we shall catch you further down the line. Be good, be kind, be careful. We're out of here. VK7VDX, Wimbledon on, there you go. Going to our team. Night, guys.
I am here, and thanks for running that, Gav. Alex. Sort of a scarf down from the county. Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said then, or nearly everything. I might disagree with a couple of things, but the other thing that's unique with Ross Alex is in the same mind as I am in music. I like the New Orleans, and there is a group on YouTube called Skinny Cuba. Skinny as in not very fat, and Cuba as in the wrap around thing, you wrap around the body with a great big thing coming out the top. The Skinny Cuba is in the state of flux, anywhere between about 5 and 6 or up to 10 acres. They just sit down on the street corner in New Orleans, and let's just play what people want as they come along. And I reckon they are absolutely brilliant. And if ever I feel down, I see I'm turning on the computer, put the stereo speakers to work, and just lay back and listen. What a miracle, it's a nice summer autumn day, over.
Victor Kilo 2, Papa Hotel, VK2PH. Great to work you, Peter. Thank you for 4 and 2. You're 5 and 1. Very, very light, but 5 and 1. Audio is readable, Pete. Handle here is Mark, Mike Alpha, Radio Kilo. K3OG, VK2, Papa Hotel.
Ah, itu dia kata Alex.
OG, VK2PH, Mark in Sydney. I've just changed to a wire antenna, Peter, and I'm hearing you better on the wire. You're 5 and 3. You're 53 on the wire. Just a sky loop, a 160 metre sky loop, Pete, and better than the dynamic or the directional antenna. So I wonder if you hear me any better now, Peter. K3OG, VK2PH.
With on
Autopilot.
yeah, with the on the highway, it does tend to break occasionally.
Very well, Peter. Fantastic. K3OG, VK2 Papa Hotel sharing a chat. And I'm having a look also, Peter, and thank you for sharing your call, VK4KIR, when you were back here in Queensland. Nice to know, mate. Nice to know. I haven't had the opportunity of obtaining another call, either working or living overseas, but I'd love to do that down the track there, Pete. We have spent time in Japan often, and I would love to also acquire a JA call. So I'll look at that in the future, Peter. But certainly hearing you very well here tonight, loud and clear on a sky loop, about 5 and 3, 53 on that last over. So anyway, I'll share with you, Pete, mild temperatures here tonight. We're only about 17 degrees Celsius. And just warmed up the house tonight. First night I've put the fire on to warm up the house a little bit, just take the chill off the air. Thanks for taking my call, Peter. Enjoy calling, and very nice to work you for the first time. K3OG, VK2 Papa Hotel.
Same with Dave, he was 20 plus. Same with Nick, 20 plus. Same with Nick.
Sure, Peter. K3OG. Nice to work you here on 40. VK2, Papa Hotel. Straight back to you, Pete. Yeah, my vintage 66. I've got to call you sir. That's how it works, isn't it? But no, thanks for sharing that with me, Pete. Much appreciated. And I will in the future. Look at getting that JA call, because I had spent, I've been over to JA, I think 6 times. Never for work, just for enjoying time out, and I've had the pleasure of making quite a few friends in the ham radio world over there, and always get very spoilt. Their Radio Shacks are not exactly what I'd call Radio Shacks, Peter. They seem to enjoy their sort of commercial ham radio stations, but so it's good fun to just share the excitement of our hobby with them, whatever I'm up to. But very nice to work you, Pete. Great to hear you on the band. Operating just a Japanese radio, Kenwood 990, about 300 watts PEP, and doing all the work is just a very simple sky loop, just a square loop, about 45 feet off ground. In our traditional gum trees there, of course, Peter, being here down under. We're right on the ocean. We're just south of the city of Sydney, about 50 kilometres south, and about 300 metres above sea level. Very well-known spot, Pete, if you've ever been hang gliding. Very well known for that air sport. Pretty much out of our front yard here. K3OG, VK2, Papa Hotel.
Standard depth. This is an antenna that was meant to be working on 160 metres, and because of the length of the feed line, it's just wrong. I tried parallel feeds and coaxial feeds, and now I've got a single wire on it. It seems to be brilliant on 80, but it won't work properly on 160. So leave that as it is, because you don't throw away a good antenna on 80 metres. We've got a couple, but this is quite high and quite long. So that's what I'm on. I thought, I haven't really tried it on 40. I'll do a 3 antenna comparison.
I think we've chatted before, I hope so. But I'm going to open the logbook and re-enter your name. If it hasn't already been done, it should have been by now, I'd say.
Please, Peter. Great to have a chat with you here on 40. And so true, I'm glad the band allowed us to make the contact here this morning your time, this evening our time. We're just gone 6:15 in the evening, Pete. And a little bit of time out. Have a glass of wine with the lovely my wife, and we'll just enjoy the night and see what dinner brings. But thanks for sharing with me about your time there in Japan, and I couldn't agree more, Peter. I have always found the hospitality there overwhelming, and to say the least. And also, I feel at home. I feel quite relaxed in JA. As you would know, you spend quite a bit of time there, so. All good. I also work with scientists on a daily basis there, Peter. I'm an electrician by trade, but I work in a few of the museums here in Sydney, and always surrounded by a variety of scientists. So, it always intrigues me how the passion is the lifestyle with science. There's no doubt. All the best, Pete. 73s to you, family. And I'll look forward to catching up with you another time. K3 Oscar Golf, 73 from Sydney Down Under, VK2 Papa Hotel. Yeah, what a pleasure. Good on you, Pete. Good on you, mate. And just to share with you, Peter, if you do get a chance, a really nice spot to visit in Australia is Central in Northern Territory. So, especially if you're interested in geology, I always find every time I go Central Australia, I feel incredibly young, Peter. We're only a speck in the time spectrum, no doubt. All the best, mate. 73s. From us, and we'll catch up again. K3OG, VK2, Papa Hotel. All the best. 73. Pleasure, VK2, PH clear.
The noise, but and interference, but no worries.
I've been in the hobby for 40 years, so I don't consider it an extravagance to have good quality stuff. You know, if I started off with that sort of setup, you might call it an extravagance when you didn't know whether you're going to stick with it. But after 40 years, I'm still enjoying the hobby enormously. I reckon we have had a contact, must be a fair while. Like gold. Was that your first frost, Dom? VK4 GJP, over.
Sorry, what was the last question there, Jeff? I just missed it, over.
I said, was that your first frost that you had the other night, over?
I just missed the first frost, was it? Is that what you said?
Frost, as in cold ground turning with where the water, the dew turns to ice, or the water in the air precipitates as ice. Frost, you know, the old cold stuff on the Tootsies, over.
Yeah, no, it was probably our second frost, actually. The first one would have been a couple of weeks ago. We had a bit of a cold snap on the weekend, and I got down to just below zero. But yesterday was quite thick. It was probably a good, it was quite heavy, actually. I left my car out in the car park, in the driveway. Actually, a bit of, I used a bit of cold water and it kept it off nicely, but when it gets in the middle of winter, we get down to about -8, -9, and it's quite difficult to get the frost off, because even if you use water, it freezes up straight away. So always best to get in the garage, Jeff. But one on, you've been in the hobby for 40 years. I think it's about 27 years, I guess. So it's been a while. I've had a few moments where but it always attracts me back. I absolutely love, chatting to the guys up the road. It's fantastic. And, to give you a bit of a report, in antenna number 1, which is the flat top, which is antenna number 3, you're about 5 and 9 with the flat top. Antenna 2, which I think was the dipole, you're 5 and 9 plus 5 dB. And antenna 3, double extended zip, was exactly the same as the dipole. So 5.9 plus about 5 dB there, Jeff. So definitely the antenna 2 and antenna 3 was slightly stronger than the flat top there, Jeff. Go ahead.
Well, that's a relief, because I didn't think it would really be that brilliant. It's okay to match, but it's a full wavelength on full wavelength on 80 meters. It's basically shorted in the centre, 160 metre dipole, just fed with a single wire. Instead of feeding it as a Wyndham, a third of the way along, or roughly there, I've just left it for simplicity, and I've just left it. I already got the feed point sort of fixed on the ground, a special mast and everything. And on that mast is an old microwave oven. Eventually, I will build an L match, or if necessary, a pi network to match the hot wire. But it actually worked out being easy just to put up another length of hard-drawn copper wire and make myself a new 160 metre dipole. I do want it to be high at the feed point. It really should be 132 feet. I've got 3 more towers I can stand up, so perhaps if I got my act together and did that, would be right. But at the moment, I'm on the double extended zip, I think. So that one there is going to 3. Oh no, hold on. What have we got here? I hope I haven't messed this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's on antenna 2, which is going to that one. Hold on, antenna 2. Yeah, that's going to the dipole. So that's the dipole I'm on now. Instead of keeping the numbers the same, like output port 1 going to A to U1, I've sort of, as I've just added them, I didn't add them logically, so I'm just making a lot of work for myself. So that's on output number 3. Now this is the double extended net, which really should be by far the best antenna. I've hardly been on 40 metres since I put this thing up. I stumbled onto it more or less by accident, and now I'm back on the flat top. Now that should be the flat top, which is antenna port number 1. Yep, that's it. That's the flat top. So I was getting you better on the double extended zip, which is sort of a relief because that's my excuse of being on 40 metres. I put up a wire antenna as an afterthought, and turns out to be the best one I've ever built for this band. Just beginner's luck after 40 years. Dom. I guess Dom is short for Dominique or Domenico or something like that. But anyway, Dom's always a good name. I think it's also a religious name for a leader or something. It's probably Latin for seeing your brother or something. I forget what the real context was. I haven't sort of used the word much. Jeff's just an old Germanised version of Gottfried or beloved of God. That's what it means. And the French spell it with a J, which is Joffrey. It's, it's a bit of a funny sort of a thing, but that's what my parents decided was good for their first son, so I sort of stuck with it. Don't mind, actually. It's very much of that 50s. Oh, by the way, 20 years. Well, that means you've been licensed probably for the worst whole activity. When I started, it was nearly half the hams that got their licenses in the late 70s, early 80s for XCBs, and I was one of them. I got pretty cheesed off with the abuse and all the sort of mischief that was going on, and no one was really having a lot of fun. Sorry, that's a bit of an exaggeration. There were a few people having fun, a lot of people were just blowing off steam. And one of my mates said to me, Jeff, you're interested in the technical side, why don't you, he was just teasing to get a hand on. So I did. And I haven't looked back. It's been a really rewarding experience. I did a lot of shit work. Had it not been for amateur radio, it would have been a true hurt. It's been good. Shift work. We're still learning lots of new tricks. For hand radio. I'm certainly enjoying it. Still doing stuff, still meeting interesting people and friendly people all around the world. But I've got a funny feeling that you come back, and that's one of the few things about ham radio, you can always come back to it. I've got a funny feeling the beginning of this next cycle is looking a bit more interesting than the previous two. And I hope for your sake and mine and others, all the others as well, that it gets to a point where you can go camping in the bush in a Toyota Land Cruiser with a 10-watt FM transceiver and call CQ on 29.6 and have someone from Scotland come back and give you a good report. And that's the way. I'm not exaggerating, it actually happened. I had an old Yaesu FT901DM, I had an inverter on it. So I just drew about 30 amps from the battery to put out 5 to 10 watts of it.
The solar peaks back there were massive, with the 300 plus. So my license is mid-90s. So I've got the tail end of the 1991, something like that. It wasn't too bad for a couple of years, but then early 2000s when it picked up again, it was okay, but it wasn't the best. coast of New South Wales off the Cobb Harbour. So I had a two of them keep of foot up there and it was for 10, it was for 2020. It was quite a big antenna actually. I was surprised I don't know what happened on the small. 2003, somewhere around there.